In the heat of a summer night, in the land of the dollar bill, when the town of Chicago died, and they talk about it still, when a man named Al Capone tried to make that town his own, and he called his gang to war with the forces of the law. I heard my mama cry, I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night it really was. Brother, what a fight it really was. Glory be. I heard my mama cry, I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night the people saw. Brother, what a fight the people saw. Yes, and the sound of the battle rang through the streets of the old east side, till the last of the hoodlum gang had surrendered up or died. There was shouting in the street and the sound of running feet, and as someone said, about 100 cops are dead. I heard my mama cry, I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night it really was. Brother, what a fight it really was. Glory be. I heard my mama cry, I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night the people saw. Brother, what a fight the people saw. Yes, indeed. Then there was no sound at all but the clock upon the wall. Then the door burst open wide and my daddy stepped inside, and he kissed my mama's face and he brushed her tears away. The night Chicago died. The night Chicago died. Brother, what a night the people saw. Brother, what a fight the people saw. Yes, indeed. The night Chicago died. The night Chicago died. Brother, what a night it really was. Brother, what a fight it really was. Glory be.
Okay, this is Jim Wood. I'm back. How's this sound? I can hear myself in my own earphones. I can hear the music in my earphones. Don't have to annoy the geriatrics here in Group Home USA, Las Vegas, Nevada. I've got some contact information on my website that needs to be adjusted. The whole world doesn't need to know where I live. Most dangerous creature who ever lived. Who's going to shoot me first? Better make sure it's a silver bullet, because people like me have a nasty habit of not dying. So this is Jimbo Zo of the Jimbo Zo Ho Ho Show, formerly known as Anarchy Talk with Jimbo Zo, but people can't handle anarchy even though you're making it happen against your will. Who the hell wants to pay taxes when you get rewarded with a settlement? At a new website now, legaltaxrevolt.com, which is the compounding of what I have at the home website, anarchyforever.com. And, what can I say? This needs to be emphasized that under international law, the whole idea of electronic money going overseas at the speed of light, you don't even have to physically go overseas to avoid higher taxes imposed by Barack Obama, because, again, the federal government's still under the duress of all his dirty work. Increasing taxes, mostly getting rid of exemptions, corporate exemptions, and where I'm from, the People's Booby Republic of California, Jerry Brown, he did plenty of damage, just jacking up taxes with no Republican filibuster. You're just plain screwed. And pretty soon they'll get rid of that law that says you can still have an auto receiver separate from attachments for semi-automatic weapons. So good thing I don't live there. It's just not safe to live anywhere in California. It's a horrible place where you let these socialists control everything. The big bubble where you're in the emergency room for 9 hours and they kick you out after 5 minutes. It's just a joke, worse than the old Soviet Union. So, but eventually it implodes because, again, they can't keep it up. People like me move out of California to minimize my tax liability here. Even if they get some tax money, I don't care if it's the IRS. I don't care if it's the franchise tax board in California. The theory is slowly but surely when you embrace exemptions, deductions that the Republicans will always make sure you have. Combined with delinquencies they can't do a damn thing about, they're $20 trillion in debt at least. The IRS cannot control a country of 330 million people. Delinquencies are not a crime. If you watch TV or listen to the radio, all they talk about is tax bankruptcy, where you wind up spending less than what you would have otherwise owed if you paid your so-called fair share of taxes. But again, it's the middle class who get hosed more than anybody by far. And even the poor, I consider myself poor for a long time. $2,100 a month, that's not a lot in California. It does better here in Vegas, I guess, but it's the kind of thing where, again, the exemptions and deductions under international law, the three big ones: foreign payment processors, overseas trust funds, and register business foreign business, which they can't do a damn thing about. They theoretically could get rid of foreign tax IDs, but that just means even the Democrats know they go overseas and you suffer big time where no money is spent on taxes or jobs at the same time. So we have really suffered because all the horrible things Barack Obama did, but the only good news is it blows up. And then we'll have anarchy, which means, again, self-employed people. There's no disincentive for the workers to take over factories knowing that the sheriff doesn't mean crap if they're privatized, because you can't really privatize the jails, except for maybe a small percentage of people. So labor guilds run companies. People are self-employed. Insurance and charity for those who don't work. Anarchy. Anarchy is order, government's chaos. Not the other way around. Don't be brainwashed by these Nazi faggots that want you to think it's a horrible thing, because they are the reason it happens. Because you don't revolt, I mean, you're not going to be able to deal with your own ego. This is bullshit. I mean, it just couldn't be any worse. If you put up with it, it's your own damn fault. I don't blame the top 1% of sociopaths that screw their workers horribly and the non-workers, and worst of all, the consumers who buy all these inferior products that die right after the warranty expires. You know, viruses coming from antivirus companies, or big scam of a company I work for, Comag, the biggest manufacturer of disks for hard drives. They only moving part of a computer, they're meant to fail by design. They would not let me make a better quality disk. It's just bullshit. So again, you have the responsibility to revolt if you want sanity in the world, and there never really ever has been sanity until you have a stateless society. Now, I know the mantra of the show is how to be self-employed, but again, minimizing your tax liability even if you pay some taxes. Slowly but surely, the taxes go away, because that's the number one thing to turn around the economy. If we're not paying taxes, it doesn't go to welfare, food stamps, or Social Security in my case. It doesn't go to these bullshit, do-nothing government jobs where government workers, especially the pigs in California, and the DA, which stands for dumbass screw up, when your kids get murdered and somehow they benefit from it so they can screw up again because they think, oh, you little peons have to take our crap and do what we tell you to do. Fuck you. No, we don't. A lot of dead cops and a lot of cops going to jail. I get it. And the dumbasses are next. Come and get me if you have a problem with that. Because, again, I need the exposure, the publicity, and I need to win some lotteries. And so do you when you revolt. Rebels Lotteries at anarchyforever.com. I'm not going to take shit from anybody. Don't have to with my bad health. But the thing is that, the tax revolt, obviously, if you don't pay taxes, buy whatever the hell you want with the money. Buy yourself a dress. You create jobs for people that sell dresses. Variable income instead of a fixed income on do-nothing welfare or government jobs. That means you have the incentive to save and invest. If you save money, that reduces inflation. If the economy does well like it did under Reagan, that means you don't need loans, so interest rates go way down. So misery index goes, it goes down to almost nothing under Reagan with deflation. We had under him. But again, companies will overheat, so higher income. Otherwise, companies will lose good workers to other companies that pay you better working conditions, better benefits, better insurance, and more loans for people with bad credit. Even though as anarchists we say no banks to borders, I recommend cryptocurrency, of course, and not banks. But even right now, I'm forced to use Wells Fargo and Direct Express for my Social Security. But eventually, they're going to have to go to cryptocurrency because, again, they always find a way to put you in the red with a 1, 2, 3 cent transaction fee and then a bunch of overdraft fees. A big scam. And then they all do it, and overdraft doesn't do crap. So competition means people will make a better choice and go to cryptocurrency. It's just that Bitcoin right now is too dominant. They need more competition. Coinbase in Britain is pretty good, but the problem is I can only buy things in Britain or the U.S. BitPay, which is now Bitcoin, is a somewhat more, I guess I would call it a internet-friendly version of Bitcoin, where you buy and sell whatever you want overseas. You don't have to go just strictly the local part if you want to send coins overseas, but also receive. They're trying to, I think, I could be wrong, but I think they're trying to correct that through BitPay. So let me know. Because even though I find PayPal, very user-friendly, and it's just like almost everybody has a PayPal address. I just don't trust a company that tries to put you in the red and charge you interest. I hate that. The only thing more evil than the government, possibly with the exception of this thing called credit, is the media. I call myself the anti-media. I don't sell anything. I just collect government money, but I like to sell things. And Spreaker.com, this is amazing. They're paying me to play commercials, and the more airtime I get, the more commercials I pay. The higher the impressions, if I could get all of you to listen and just tell everyone about the show, all my amazing websites. Again, the home website is anarchyforever.com, A-N-A-R-C-H-Y, anarchyforever.com. The reason I recommend that is the home website. I have 12 websites right now. It has a map to the other, it's actually 10 other websites, and so 11 total. One is a porn website that I don't talk about, even though this is schlock talk, and I say some nasty things. It's not appropriate for, again, people under 18 even to listen to the show, but they know the meaning of life anyway, and they mature more precocious than ever before. So what the hell? But you were warned, because I finally did the right thing by saying explicit content. I didn't do that on previous shows, but this time I have to. We had these really nasty guys in New York back in the 1980s that say the worst things on radio, but they immediately lose their frequencies to their licenses, if you will, by the FCC. Because back then there was just no World Wide Web, and of course what we do on the web, they can't do crap. There were these old fogies, some old wench from the old Drew Carey show said, yeah, they should regulate the internet. And one of the female actors said, I will find you a conservative against it. Yep, Rush Limbaugh said, nope, you better not and cannot regulate the internet. It's the wrong thing to do from a moral point of view. But it's technologically not feasible, even though they somehow have accomplished that for a long time in North Korea and China. But I've been able to communicate with people on the internet through China for about 3 years now through Upwork.com and websites like that. The Chinese know that eventually they have to give in, but it's like, how the hell did they control their people this long? Well, in a matter of speaking, they really didn't except to do terrible things to one or two political dissidents. They make a cold-hard example of one person. So even though it was always easy to undermine Beijing, they're just terrified by this thing called the man. It goes back to Tiananmen Square and the horrible things they did back in 1989. I remember that too well. But there will be freedom throughout the world. There will be anarchy and Armageddon, which either means a peace treaty and or a major loss of life, like it says in the Bible. My interpretation of the Bible, Book of Revelation, 7 years of trials and tribulations. The first 3.5 years are supposed to be a false peace, somewhat blissful. The second period is supposed to be really nasty. So my interpretation of that, because I'm a guy that was more atheist, agnostic all his life, and then I found out there's evidence for all this. It has nothing to do with faith at all. It's like horrifying. It's not actually coming true right now. It's probably a repeat of Moses and the Israelites, where the Israelites did not appreciate the freedom given to them by God, executed by Moses, as call him the deliverer and messenger, and they erected a golden calf, made sacrifices to it, engaged in robbery, if you will. It's good to rebel against people like Ramses II, but not God. So they were condemned to wander in the desert for 40 years. Only Moses and a few of his followers made it to the Holy Land, much like Noah. That's what I'm thinking of, Noah and his family. So biblical history with many different details, but in a matter of speaking, the main gist of where this is going is that there could very easily be major loss of life on this planet. There are ways of predicting natural disasters, certainly hurricanes and rain, but also earthquakes, because Jim Kirkland has a very good system by looking at missing animals that maybe sense pheromones released by organics in the ground and shifting the water tables before an earthquake. And of course, gravitational alignment of sun and moon is a prelude to what often are major earthquakes. And he's batting about 750, and it's like, yeah, I get it. But other than that, people are strange when it comes to their politics and religion. I'm more poly-religious, or what we call a religious pluralist, like Mahatma Gandhi. I think all the religions are valid. They have more in common than they are different. And when they are different,